On October 25, 1974, 41-year-old oil worker and experienced hunter Carl Higdon headed into the Medicine Bow National Forest in Wyoming. The day was crisp and clear, the perfect weather for elk hunting. Carl had hunted this region many times and knew every ridge and valley by memory. But what happened that afternoon became one of the most unusual cases ever recorded in the wilderness. Carl had spotted a small herd of elk in a clearing and raised his rifle. But when he fired, the bullet didn't behave normally. It drifted slowly, as if moving through water, before dropping to the ground only a few meters away. Alarmed and confused, Carl walked over to pick it up. The bullet was flattened, as though it had struck something invisible. That's when he sensed he wasn't alone. Carl later said he turned and saw a tall, thin figure standing behind him, humanoid, but not quite human. The being wore a black suit and had no ears, no hair, and small slits for eyes. Carl tried to run, but he felt frozen in place, his limbs heavy and unresponsive. Moments later, he said everything went silent. According to Carl, he became disoriented and suddenly found himself inside a bright, warm space, a room without clear walls or edges. The strange figure was there too, along with the 5 elk he had been stalking, motionless as if suspended. Carl described a feeling of weightlessness, like floating. Hours passed, though he couldn't tell how long. At one point, the figure placed a warm device on his chest, and Carl sensed it was scanning him. He later said the being spoke to him without moving its mouth, telling him humans were too aggressive and that he was acceptable but not ideal. The next thing Carl remembered was waking up in his truck, parked miles away from where he had been hunting, in rough terrain a vehicle couldn't easily reach. He was freezing, disoriented, and missing several hours of memory. When rescuers finally reached him, after his worried wife reported him missing, they found Carl in shock. His truck was stuck in deep mud, yet there were no tire tracks leading to it. His rifle was mangled, as if bent by heat. His lungs, long damaged by years of work in oil fields, suddenly showed improvement, according to medical reports from the time. Searchers could not locate any sign of the elk herd, nor any footprints, nor evidence of a fall or injury. Investigators were divided. Some thought Carl experienced a medical event or hallucination. Others pointed to the physical details, the flattened bullet, the altered rifle, the impossible location of the truck, as clues something stranger had happened. Carl never changed his story. He rarely spoke publicly about that day again, saying the experience left him with unanswered questions he could never fully explain. Nearly 50 years later, hikers still talk about the Higdon case, a man who walked into the Wyoming forest on an ordinary afternoon and returned with a story no one has ever been able to verify or debunk.